Someone or something visited us last night, and it wasn't friendly. 6 years ago, me and my boyfriend, let's call him Tim, moved to a house outside of the small town we both grew up in. The place was a bit of a fixer-upper. The previous owner had been smoking indoors for the past 20 years, which made everything inside take on a yellowish tone. Another thing to take care of was the dense forest that started no more than 10 meters away from the house. We were both young and eager to have a place to ourselves, so we didn't mind all the extra work that came with our purchase. The following years we repainted both the inside and outside of the house, we cut down trees to make a garden, and we built a big chicken coop. I started cultivating crops and he built a garage to work in. We created our personal paradise on Earth, and it has been our safe space up until last night. Ever since I was a child, I have been able to see things other people don't. It happens less and less frequently as I age, but I can still stumble upon misplaced energies from time to time. A few years ago, when I got up to get a glass of water in the middle of the night, I almost stumbled over a little girl that was standing by the feet of our bed. It's hard to describe an encounter like that to someone who hasn't experienced it, but you can somehow feel the visitor's intent. This little girl didn't want to do us any harm. Therefore, her presence didn't scare me and I could easily go back to sleep. I usually don't talk about my ghostly encounters as I fear that people might consider me mentally unstable. I sure know that I have questioned my own sanity countless of times because of this, but over the years these visits have become what I consider normal. However, what visited us last night wasn't. That is why I have decided that I need to tell you about it. I really need your advice. Tim and I went to bed early. A couple of hours later, I woke up by the pounding of my own heart and with a very unsettling feeling. I am usually a heavy sleeper, so this confused me. I looked over to Tim and saw that he was moving around anxiously in his sleep. I cuddled up to him with my back facing the bedroom door and closed my eyes in order to go back to sleep. That's when I heard a creaking sound coming from the corridor leading up to our bedroom. My eyes flung wide open once again, and this time Tim woke too. The look he gave me conveyed that he wasn't entirely sure why he had woken up. I pressed a finger against my lips in order to keep him silent. That's when the creaking returned, this time a little closer. We both turned slowly towards the open door leading to our bedroom. It felt like the pounding of our hearts could be heard from miles away. As our eyes adapted to the darkness, a silhouette started to appear in the doorway. The humanoid form in the entrance to our bedroom was tall, skinny, and completely hairless. It stood hunched over, and you could see its protruding joints under the stretched pale skin. The worst part was that the head on top of its bony shoulders had Tim's face. Where Tim's eyes should have been were instead small, marble-like eyes filled with hatred staring back at me. The absence of eyelids amplified the intensity of the stare by 100-fold. And the smile. That God-forsaken smile will haunt me forever. It stretched from ear to ear and opened so wide that its jaw must have been dislocated. The creature started staggering towards the feet of our bed, still staring intensely into my eyes. The real Tim started reaching for the light switch on our nightstand, but as he did, something started slithering out of the creature's mouth. It was its tongue. It became longer and longer until it reached the level of the creature's collarbones. When the light filled the room, the creature smiled even wider without taking his hateful eyes off of me. The next thing I remember is waking up to the sun shining in through our bedroom window. My heart was still pounding, and I cuddled up to Tim once again. He was already awake and put an arm around me as I started to tell him about the nightmare I had had during the night. The more I told him, the paler he became. When I started describing the creature, He begged me to stop. I shot him a troubling look and asked why. My heart dropped when he then told me that it couldn't have been a dream as he experienced the exact same thing. I don't know what it was that visited us last night, but it sure didn't feel like any of my previous encounters. This creature has malicious intents, and it knows how to get inside our house. Please help me. What should I do? I really don't want this day to turn into night.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and we will see you in the next video.